Hello, my name is Jung Kim. I'm an assistant professor at Santa Clara University in Department of Education. I earned my PhD degree at Michigan State University, specialized in science education at K through 12 level. I proudly was a secondary school science teacher, and I have taught in secondary science schools for 12 years. I looked up Santa Clara University. The mission of Cura Personalis was aligning well with the conceptual framework that I am pursuing with my science education research, which is rightful presence. Cura Personalis is asking for the educators' pursuit for supporting whole person, supporting for their students to grow as a whole person. And then the tenet is very corresponding to the tenets of rightful presence. Rightful presence is about students who belong to their learning community, not because of who they are expected to be or should be envisioned by their educators, but the students as who they just are. So I saw that conceptual alignment, and there was a really strong attraction to me because I didn't see that kind of explicit mission represented by a higher education institution. Then when I looked up for even more, Santa Clara University gave the environmental justice emphasis across curriculum, across programs. You will see some emphasis and connection amongst the different disciplines that centers the value and vision of environmental justice and addressing the environmental and climate crisis. If you ask me about my favorite courses, then I should say all of them. I am teaching secondary science method courses in which pre-service and in-service science teachers will learn about the pedagogies of science and also practice science unit and lesson design. And also I teach the same course for the elementary teachers who will teach science in their elementary classrooms. On top of the science method courses, also I teach educational foundational courses. Then I should say they are also my favorite. The three main lines of my research are, first, supporting students' rightful presence in a STEM education context. And second, I am a little bit narrowing down the scope of STEM education to be environmentally integrated STEM education, and also STEM education that involves technologies like AI and coding and programming. And lastly, I focus on the teacher community awareness of environmentally critical consciousness. So across these lines of research, what I am highlighting for now is my current research about how the teachers are approaching the environmentally integrated science instructions. My academic or scholarly and pedagogical accomplishments that I want to highlight is the podcast series that I am creating with youth leaders. I started the podcast series with my colleagues outside of Santa Clara University, as well as one of my youth action activist communities. So one theme we covered in the podcast is about Fukushima's nuclear contaminated water released to the Pacific Ocean. If you remember, in 2011 in Japan, Fukushima, there was a big nuclear power plant meltdown. Since then, the water has been seriously contaminated by nuclei, and that nuclear contaminated water is already being released to the Pacific Ocean. And that has been a serious environmental issue. And that podcast is about how individuals like us can grasp that issue. They are the topics of the podcast, and we are planning to develop more podcasts about the similar environmentally controversial issues. So that will be one accomplishment in progress, and that will be continued, so please stay tuned. I have been a great and big fan of all kind of dancing. So if you come from South Korea context, then you cannot separate yourself from K-pop. And whenever you watch the K-pop, the moves will inspire you. So from my undergrad years, I choreographed dance movements, so the group dance movements. And since I joined Michigan State University as a doctoral student, I developed my appreciation of Latin dance, like tango and salsa. And I really love that cultural tradition. So yeah, dance has been my one of the favorite source of joy.